On this episode, we talk training, squats and lunges. Danny, great episode.
Yeah, clean up your front rack, try a squat every day, and don't be soft.
Like it, Trayvon.
The mentality of squatting every day is something that everybody needs.
Fuck yeah, Cole.
Talk about melons. Finger placement.
Juicy melons.
Yeah.
If you would like to increase your squat, get ripped from your lunges, and probably wear a beater every day of your life, this is the fucking episode for you.
Facts.
Let's go to the show. All right, Roundtable Podcast. I'm your boy Corey G, Small Arms Danny at Trey Speed, and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak. Yo, we haven't done a training episode in a little while. So me and Cole were talking at the track.
You're feeling yourself with these push-ups, boy.
I am.
Hence the beater.
Well, you know what, Danny?
Let
me. First off, shout out Freeze and Arrow, Freon, 7th Floor Clothing gave me a gift at the bodybuilding show. What up? And I got to tell you, Danny, I'm really just looking to get. I used to have some melons, bro.
Oh yeah. Here we go. It's getting real.
What are you trying to hold there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to get these melons back from these push-ups, and I lost like 2 years of volume basically. And so I was thinking the other day,
So you got small.
not totally small. I guess smaller than you because my arm size was a 1/4 inch smaller.
Proven.
Yes, I was proven by NAFO. And
We need like a soundboard. it's like smaller.
Yep.
Yeah.
Small guy. Yep. So anyway, I think that I was like, what can I come up with that will make my melons come back, get my bench rehabbed, and then make me look absurdly yoked in a wife beater? That's a real thought. That's a real thought. And so I came up with 200 push-ups after lunges, supersetted with the rotator cuffs to keep everything active. In the first day, it was really difficult. I could only do 2 sets of 20 in a row, and I wanted to eccentrically load like my triceps and also keep my hand position about the same as my bench position so I don't have any shoulder pain. I only got like 2 sets of 20 because I'm trying to like kind of go down slow and then press out, so not just pumping them, like shorten them. And anyway, by day 3, I got 10 sets of 20. Day 4, and that's what doing bench workouts. Like I did 10 sets of 5 with 225. Today I was doing floor press, still able to do it. Cole jumped in with me today, and I needed to find an upper body GPP. Yeah. So every dude that's been locked up, they got yoked, does 200 to 500 push-ups a day. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm trying to get on that game.
Definitely won't be small.
I am not going to be fucking small. I'm actually I'm going to just wear wife beaters everywhere.
Did you go from a B to a C cup or something?
I'm going to get back to that, yes. Yeah. So, there you go.
That's nice.
Yeah. You took part in it today, Cole.
Yeah, today was day 1. I only made it through 70.
Yeah.
Which I was.
He looked over. He's like, my shit is shaking.
Yeah, I was going down. I was going down to where like I was like a little bit. I wasn't touching the ground, but I was close. My shit was on fire. Yeah. My pec pump was nasty.
Yeah, I looked over at him. He's going.
That titty game.
Yeah. Well, and I just went in the other day, like going to the ballpark to watch Anna, and I was like, I'm just going to beat her.
Yeah.
And
what else did you wear?
Yeah. And then like I just look like I have one on because of my tan. And Trey, I mean, you could add these with your lunges now that you're going to do a meet. I mean, that might help your bench a little bit. Just saying, just throwing it out there. So, but I think what we should really talk about, every one of us on this panel has squatted every day. I've been posting my squats a little bit more. People are asking a lot of questions, but I want to not only just talk about actual training, but the mentality of it. So I think like, when people see it, they automatically think it's crazy. But 2, it's like they don't understand what they're going to like get out of it from a mentality standpoint. So Danny, why don't you start off kind of like when you did that for a period of time, what were some of the major takeaways?
I think just from obviously incorporating it in general and then meeting like someone like John Bros.
Yeah, that's right, because you went to Bros' with me. That's right.
Yeah, it was like I don't know. I just remember like going after I couldn't remember if it was like matching a PR, but he was like, why would you do that? Pretty much like he
basically said, why are you gonna be a bitch?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Doesn't he remind you of like he's got like the Louis type of like he just is so matter of fact.
Yeah, he just
like,
walks
what are
around.
you, a fucking idiot? Why would you redo that? That's basically what he said to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I farted on camera pretty much.
Yes, you did. That's right too. I forgot about that.
I wish I had that video still.
That's amazing.
Because it was dead quiet. There's no music, no nothing. And then I'm like halfway out of my squat and then the one squirts out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
As far as
Great add on there.
Yeah, I thought I'd give the people what they want.
I get it. Daniel, you're
it's
really
the
getting
details.
comfortable. You're getting really
Yeah.
comfortable on
don't
camera
care.
and microphone. I like it.
If you say you've never farted during squatting, you're a liar.
Yeah,
That's facts.
That's
Yeah,
facts.
so for squatting every day, and for me, it was more tailored towards the Olympic weightlifting stuff. So Travis Mash, he kind of fused that together into an Olympic-specific program. And his big thing, like starting off the week, was going to be like a front squat. So like an example would be like a 5-second pause front squat without a belt on Monday, but then you come back on Tuesday and do the same exact thing, but with a belt.
Okay.
So it really helped me kind of learn.
Because even that changes conjugate. That's what people don't realize. That little bit of variation is part of it.
Huge. It made me not relying on a belt. It taught me how to correctly brace. Otherwise, you're going to get fucking broken. And then just getting under the bar, just especially on the days you don't feel like it. And I know you guys have, felt I don't have to lecture you, but like sometimes 225, 275 feels better than like the bar. It's like almost always that way, it seems like. So
it's one of the massive takeaways, I think, of it. Your body does. So that one of the John Bros's favorite things, he says, the body lies to you. And
facts.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, the body lies to you, and that sometimes you can't really make a determination on whether it's going to be a good or bad workout until you're like basically halfway through it, because you don't know when shit's going to. There's a gang of times I've rolled in the gym, felt like ass, and then fucking hit PRs.
Yeah.
And they look like their fucking bar's empty, but the bar itself felt fucking terrible. So that's what's, I think, the conventional thinking starts to shift. And I would say that, in this training, it opens up your mind quite a bit to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think, did for me too.
For sure. And like the program I was doing was like 12 weeks long or something. And I did it back to back because I liked it so much, and how he tied in, this and that variation and the accessory work and everything. But like my front squat went from like, my best front squat was like 330 and I went to 370. I'm like,
did you make 370 at your best?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, but like obviously the legs are like one of the main drivers for the lifts in general, and like with the leg drive coming out for like a split jerk or something, and like that, I don't know, it just built so much confidence in my ability to execute the lift. So
Yeah, it's cool. Trayvon.
Talking about like mentality about
just like kind of what you got from like going through that process, whether it was a month or a year or however long you did it for.
So like, just to go off of like that, like definitely just like the whole aspect of showing up and all that, but like just doing like putting yourself through hard shit like every single day, I think is like the main takeaway of it. Like it kind of like goes back to like lunges too. Like there's like, I would say most people that have a lunge streak, more days than other days during the week, you're like, I don't want to go to the track. I don't want to lunge. I don't want to do this. But once you get done with it every single day, you feel like just 10 times amount better. So like just doing hard shit every single day is like,
and being committed to that.
Being committed to it, yeah.
There's nothing like when and I did this multiple times, I'd miss a weight in the morning and I'd go back in my basement and get it and feel like no one could fucking touch me. Didn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I fucking just won that motherfucker today. Like, because it is an internal battle of accountability, of hard shit, which is difficult for like everybody. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good. Cole?
I mean, the biggest thing is one, just squatting like every day in general. It teaches you how to fucking squat. It actually teaches you how to do like the lifts, because we front squat a lot. And before like I started training here and shit, I wasn't front squatting that often. So even that itself was a challenge, just to even figure out how many fucking fingers am I using, or
that's
which
is
that's
always a challenge.
It is always a challenge.
Jeez.
But also then understanding like, oh shit, maybe my front rack sucks because now my lats are fucking too tight, or even just understanding that. Then you add in the conjugate shit with the stuff like that. But I think like even adding the bands, shit never gets boring.
No. It's always different.
It's always, and each day is usually very fucking hard. It's always a different challenge, but it will never get boring. You know, going up against one band this week, then next thing you know, like today we took 4 fucking reps and we were at like 400 pounds. So yeah.
Well, and the
Small
fact that like because you're truly doing a different squat every workout. The way we wave the bands, even though the variations, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, is like the variation is the same for 4 weeks, but the band tension is different. And you can even add that component of wearing heels, no heels, fucking belt, no belt, whatever, flat soles. And so it's like it literally is 30 different squats. And that's where I think, and so I've been able to squat 5 times a week for months. Just went back to 7 times a week about 3 weeks ago. Just even that accountability on the weekend, it's made me drink 1 less beer, make sure that I'm hydrated. Like it's already made me a little bit more accountable than being just a total, degenerate on the weekends, because I'm like, damn, I want to get a chance, because I'm back squatting in lifters, high bar on Saturday. It's really difficult for me.
It's
just
like
because
completely different, right?
it's completely different than how I squat, how I compete. And it's always it's been my hardest variation. But I know when that goes up, the rest of the shit, because then I go low bar chucks and it feels like I'm not even squatting. So it's like I definitely can tell. And then just even getting under the bar on Sunday, even going up to 225, which this last week I went up to like 300, it felt really good. So that right there, even that just tiny bit of accountability. And I know, Trey, you just squatted before I got in here, right? I just saw it on Instagram. You took 2 blacks versus 225 or something?
Yeah.
For a 3-count pause. Like just even you now talking about doing a meet, there's going to be extra, you know what I mean? I was looking, I was like, oh, Trey's at the gym squatting right now. I like that. You know what I mean? It's good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, honestly, just the streak stuff in general, you just start to feel like different. My mom, from the book, the biggest, other than like all the like really difficult shit we had to talk about, her thing was like, I'm going to walk a mile a day for 100 days. And she had just never created a streak before. It was like complete, like she's seen me do this shit forever, but she didn't know she could apply it to something she could do. Like it just never made sense. But after she read the book and listened to it, she was like, I can walk a mile a day. And then so she's messaged me a few times of her on the treadmill on a couple days where she didn't want to do it. But how now she's built momentum. She's on like day like 70 or something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so like I saw that and I was like, this is great, because my mom, who is, an older woman, is now applying just the mentality of that accountability, and she feels like way better from it. And now you don't want to break the streak to yourself. And so I think the squatting is difficult because you're getting under something that's, traditionally really heavy each day. But sometimes I'll do token lifts and just get something halfway decent and say, it's just not today. But then I also will give it a chance to get to a certain weight to know if that's a true statement or not, or my body's actually
Yeah, like
lying
those
to me.
minimums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a daily minimum of some sort. So I think people, when they hear it, they think you're going to be doing 20 sets of 20 and all this like heavy shit.
Yeah.
Conjugate method with this is just like, like you said, in 4 reps, you were at a fucking, most people that don't even dream of squatting 400 anything.
Yeah.
Because, dude, Cole made 3 blacks and a fucking blue today, which is like, fucking.
Yeah, 3 countdown.
It was like
just come up.
350 in bands plus whatever 20 kilos is 40.
It's
40.
about 135.
Yeah, so 135. So it's fucking heavy, dude.
Yeah.
450 at the top.
Yeah. But I know that with my front squat and shit, if my front squat goes up with all this stuff, it will increase my deadlift. Like
No
I know that's
question.
like the only way I can increase my deadlift is if I front squat and it goes up.
No question.
Because deadlift's like the hardest lift for me, and I get the most carryover whenever I'm front squatting.
Yeah, facts, 100%. So maybe Danny, you can talk about when you're doing that 2-month block or whatever, or it was actually like 24-week block. Like, did you then? How many times during that process did you really not want to go to the bar? I'm guessing you were probably more looking forward to get to the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the beginning. Obviously, you go through that like adaptation phase,
Which is like 2 weeks, basically.
yeah, where you're like, man, this is pretty fucking tough.
Yeah.
Like some of the day, especially because like he put the front squats or the squats in, because like you're mostly front squatting because it makes more
Same.
sense than Olympic weightlifting anyway.
Well, and it makes more sense for us too, because we can't recover from, I don't think, those heavy back squats every day like that.
Yeah.
The front squat, and it carries over more to our deadlift, which we're trying to build 2 lifts without.
Yeah. And it was more applicable too, because like I could really work on improving my front rack, especially when catching it for a clean, and then when I'm gonna go overhead. So because it can get a little tricky or whatever, but I don't know. I think after that 2-week adaptation phase, I started to look forward to it a lot more than I used to. But having it at the front of the workout, I liked because then I could, really get after it, I guess, and then move on to like the snatch and the clean and jerk. So I don't know.
So that the key is that takeaway is that the first 2 weeks suck.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks, it does.
That's basically what you said.
Yeah, but then you pretty much, once you get up on, get the momentum up, it's just like what I'm doing right now with like rucking. Like, I used May as like my jump start back in, so I set the goal of like you have to do 100 miles in May, and then now it's like I feel like I have to ruck every single day now. So now, because I walk to the track, so it's like a mile to the track, a mile home, and so I'll walk and then I'll lunge and then walk home. And that's just the new norm. So it's the same thing for squatting. It's just like what you do.
Yeah, that's just me doing 200 push-ups.
Yeah,
looking yoked in a beer.
Danny, whenever you're on these walks, and are you wearing your like unit outfit? Are you wearing like the black shades, or like are people nervous when they see you walking down the street?
Not the shades.
I
wouldn't be able to see. Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to see. It's nighttime.
Well, no, I'm literally walking the track at like what 3:45, 4 a.m. or something like that. So I'd be like baying out in the dark.
You need some night vision goggles now.
That's exactly what he needs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so
it is nice.
Let's talk about what's one sneaky tip I guess you'd give for someone who's like trying to like make their squat better.
Yeah.
Like what's one thing you see that's what it is?
Front squat wise, it's always people letting their elbows drop and their lats are too tight. They just can't support it with a shelf, and I constantly fight it too, a lot now because of my shoulder. But like finding that and that's the other thing about squatting so often like this, you become more of an expert at the lift. So if you try something every fucking day, you can maybe try this hand placement this time. Let me try this hand so I think it just allows you to like go through so many different things to get better at it. You know what I mean? And like Trey, I was come to you on this too. Is like from a failing rep standpoint, did you view it differently after going through that process? Did it ever really matter to you? Like a lot of people put a lot on that. I never really have. To me, I didn't really care if I missed weights, but like that's one thing that I think people get better at during that process. So maybe you could touch on that, how that was for you.
I mean, it's something and never really thought about. Like,
you never cared if you missed weights.
I mean, it's just like life. You're gonna fail in life, so like, why would you be scared to fail at?
Well, that's how I processed it too. But that's not the norm though.
Yeah, I've never thought like that.
Yeah,
though, so I can't really.
They never relate.
On it. Yeah.
Can't relate.
Well, that's another.
Can you get this boy a t-shirt?
Yeah.
That's another thing, especially on like front squat. Like once you learn how to actually bail, then A, it's not a big deal, and then B, like you just like aren't afraid to go after weights anymore, at all.
Ramos just tell me like you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
So
and honestly, like my favorite thing is if you miss a weight, you just fucking take it again.
Yeah.
If you miss it twice, then you know for sure that you missed it.
I like that part of loading it back up, unloading the bar, getting it back up, reloading it.
Yeah, because you might have just been too big of a bitch the first time. You're too scared or nervous, or maybe you fucked up the unrack or something like that. Just take it again. If you miss it twice, then you probably know that you're just soft.
The other tip,
Small.
other than just don't be a hoe ass bitch, right?
Yeah, hoe ass bitch, not bitch ass hoe.
Bitch ass hoe. I flipped it on you, Danny. I'm glad you caught that.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah, it is ambidextrous. It's an ambidextrous saying. Yes, go either way.
Yeah.
What John Bros said about, and that was specifically with front squat, don't start like a miss, meaning don't start not. Like he almost said, like, especially with heavy weights, almost be like overarched and elbows way high because they're going to fall.
That was one of my biggest takeaways from him.
Yeah,
for
which
sure.
Don't start like a miss. He's like, you look like a miss, and I'm not really into Olympic lifting at this point, so I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you mean. He's like, no, he's like, you look like you're gonna miss the weight when you start. So how the fuck are you gonna make it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
He just had like so much like shit like that.
So elbows being too low off the unrack.
Off the unrack. You should be over committed to it, almost where it looks like over high. Yeah.
Whatever. I would say another going along that is with that unrack position is if people have the bar too high to where they're barely lifting it off.
Yeah.
And then the weight's not settled on your front
Yeah.
rack.
Having your position out of the rack for your height is really important, which we struggle with that here because of the guys' heights, but that's really important too, for sure.
Yeah, I would also suggest, like, with people to practice the front rack with a full grip at all costs with a lighter weight too.
That's I've never been able to do that.
I
don't know how you can do that with your biceps so big.
Well, it didn't used to be like
Well,
that.
it's because he doesn't have any triceps.
Oh, so when mine go like this,
they'll sink.
Biceps and proud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always wonder, like, how's Danny getting a full hand on here when he's got fucking yoked arms? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
No tries.
Yeah.
Seriously, just do like 10-second pauses with like 135 to 185.
Because AG can get a full hand too.
Yeah. So like, because I mean, just coaching people for like 5 years at a CrossFit gym. The first
slight, just threw that out there.
Yeah.
All right, 20 years. The first move, would happen over and over. They unrack it, step back, and the first move is there. And then you see the shift forward. You know,
you're
all
fucked.
that. Yeah, you're screwed.
So what's like what's your warm up like?
Danny,
how do
when
you
you'd be
tell
coaching
them?
for 5 years, what would you tell them?
Yeah, well, like what's some exercises that you would have them do to get a better grip?
I mean, there's some like PVC stuff you can do, obviously, but I like getting their hands on the bars as quickly as possible. And then a lot of the time, if they have the ability to basically have the whole bar in their hand and then rotate through coming all the way up. So keeping it right under your chin the whole time. This is from a Ukrainian Olympic medalist.
There it is.
But you can do it with a PVC too, but you basically have your elbows back here, so you get your back nice and tight, and then rotate all the way through and hold. And then literally just go back and forth for a couple minutes.
I like that idea.
That's a big one. And then just like with the bar and the rack, just drop your head through with your palms down, palms up, because you'll feel like ridiculously tight.
Hey, speaking of this, Danny, the kids are doing Olympic lifting today. I might have you teach
should.
power clean today.
Okay.
Can you?
What if we double bang it and have like Kyle like
Double bang it?
Yeah, bang. I said bang.
Okay.
And we have Kyle shoot a video.
Yeah, no, we should for sure. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Double bang.
because maybe I can go out there and work on my wrist flexibility.
The flick of the wrist.
I would say like one of my favorite things was just bending back your fucking hand like this, open up the forearms,
Yeah.
especially with all the forearm training we're doing over at the Arms Army, right?
Shout out.
So, Danny, I get this all the time. Well, my hands don't go up like that. I can't bend like that. I mean, I know it's a bunch of pussy shit, but like, what do you tell like Gen Pop people like when they said that shit to you back in the day? Did you?
You're soft.
No, you didn't. Maybe you would now.
Yeah.
But what would you say? Like, just try to use 2 fingers, or what would be your?
Dude.
Well, I mean, you always start out with
he's
one.
trying to serve this up.
Yeah. Yeah, do you start with one?
I almost did something I
And
wasn't
go
going to do. Jesus Christ.
We've talked about Danny.
No
Danny
comment.
squirting a little bit. Corey's melons. Now we're all right.
That was just like a fucking.
You spit on yourself?
Probably. What's wrong with us?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Next,
All right,
next question.
Back on the rails. Back on the rails.
Yeah. So, what are you telling like Samantha at CrossFit
Samantha? For
or
what?
Bob?
For what?
Or
Like,
Dave?
Whenever
They're
they
saying
say they can't.
when they're saying, "Oh, I can't do this."
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Do you just show them that
Yeah.
that fucking move that you?
Yeah,
just,
I'm definitely gonna keep them on the lighter side for sure. Because I mean, especially if someone's coming down and they have a full death grip on the bar, and then their elbow can do
'cause
this.
so low.
You can fuck yourself up pretty good.
Well, and you probably seen like I mean, people ain't mobile, bro.
Yeah, but like if they're wanting to they clear. I mean, it happened over and over again. People they just want to put as much weight as possible on the bar.
I like that.
But like, you have to obviously keep it in reason. But like, I'd start them off with the full grip or as close as possible to a full grip, and then I'd allow them to let the bar roll back into their fingers so they can get their chest up, their elbows up, so they can actually support the bar without just literally holding it and then having to worry about that, which is the complete
I think I
opposite.
never did front squats back in the day because this shit always did nothing but fucking hurt my fucking shoulders.
Yeah.
It never
Yeah,
felt
it's like
right.
basically impossible
It never felt right
to
to
do
me.
the crossover shit.
Yeah,
like it just
felt so
it's
fucking.
it's
weird.
kind of like it's a soft way. Like they're trying to beat around the bush and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it this way because I'm scared."
Yeah, I think just get
Yeah,
the
that
fucking
is
grip.
soft, yeah.
Yeah, it just never made sense to me that way.
It might have been bros too, but another thing too, if you are able to actually keep your hand on the bar, like because you can squeeze the bar too, because it turns on.
You can leverage it.
It can turn everything on, like lats, your abs, everything.
I need to work on
brace.
that. Because right now I'm doing the 2-finger claw grip, and then I'm adding the thumb, and then I'm going, and then I'm going up. Because
can we make a flip? We should make a flip book of this.
I didn't even get.
I know.
Trey
You're not saying anything bad. You're just saying what you're. This is what I'm actually doing right now.
And so
there's a knowledge bomb on this.
Yeah, once again to the 2-finger. Then I'm going with the thumb and I'm clawing it through, and that's the best way because I can't get the whole hand and my shoulders fucked up. Hey, Kyle, what's wrong with these fucking guys?
Oh man.
Okay, let's talk about
too far gone.
Yeah, I think we should move the lunges.
But here's the thing, not everyone can start out being a whole hand guy. They have to start out like one finger.
Yeah.
Then two.
I could barely get 2, and it was the tip. I could barely get 2, and it was the tip whenever I was doing it first.
I was also I was also a 2-finger guy for the longest time.
Yeah.
I'm now moving into where I can go 4 fingers
That's dangerous.
For a few reps. But on my max out attempt today, I bumped it back down to 3 because I think 3 fingers is like the sweet spot for me.
I saw that. All right.
Okay.
Trey, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
How many fingers do you use, Trey?
Well, I guess we'll take it back to the original question.
Yes.
Was squat tips.
Okay. Yes. The actual question.
Yeah.
We'll bring it back. Yeah. Squat tips.
Bring us back.
So for back squat, or I guess for
There you
front
go.
squat too as
Yeah.
well, any lift really. I think like what people need to practice a lot is actually like drilling, like being able to drill their feet like into like their feet like into the ground, like drilling your heels into like the position that you want, and like then when you actually are drilling it in there, like if you drill it in right, then you can like feel like your hamstrings engaged. So like before like I ever like unrack the bar in like a squat, I already like my hamstrings my hamstrings are already like loaded. I can already feel them like engaged and everything.
Matheny's really good at that with his deadlift.
Yeah, on deadlift.
He's like fucking
What makes you
loaded
say
up.
that?
Yeah.
For
It looks
fuck's
fast
sake.
as shit. No, that's a good tip. And just doing squats often enough to know exactly where your feet should even be.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a different spot where they feel strong at, and it feels like it's like an organic position just for your body, the way you're built, the way you push and your leverages. And I think most people that squat once a week and that are general, they don't even ever figure that out. And so they wonder why their shit always feels terrible. The other thing is bar position. The amount of people that send me fucking like videos of them being completely bent over because the bar's so high, because their depths it's just like the geometry, which by the way I got to see my senior year in, doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
At all. And I look at it and you could just like fucking, I would take a screenshot and go like, look where your bar's at. It's over your knees. You're bent way the fuck over. Your hips are high. Like just none of it makes sense. And so like if you can film yourself a couple times, you can see the points of where like, why is this so fucking difficult? Like something doesn't match up. So I just think like that, understanding where your feet's at, how to leverage in there, looking at your bar path, and just doing like a little bit of research, and you can clean it way up. You're practicing every day.
Yeah.
I'm just not scared of squatting. I swear when we first started going to meets, a lot of guys were still, before we started doing all this shit back in the day, guys were scared of the squat because it was the biggest lift. That we weren't doing it all the time. And like fucking this, like guys can't wait to fucking squat now. It's unbelievable. The change from just getting more comfortable doing hard things.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would also say along with that is like where your toes are pointed. Like are they pointing straight forward versus out a little bit or super ultra out,
I tried to go forward. It just doesn't ever feel fucking that smooth to me.
It's like hard to get your like hips in like a natural position, like to get depth easily.
Yeah, the toes slightly out, which almost every like Olympic lifter I followed, including like Klokov is one of the ones I followed a fuckload. When I started doing stuff in lifters, I just watched what Klokov did. From the way he deadlifted in lifters, from the way he squatted in lifters. I mean, he's a fucking beast if you guys haven't seen like any of his videos.
For sure. I think one cue that I don't know, at least resonates for me is like acting like you're like clawing the ground with your feet.
Yeah.
Just like because you have like I don't know if it was Kelly. It might have been Kelly Starrett maybe.
Starrett, yeah.
But like he talks about like having 3 points of contact. So like the pad behind your big toe, like your toes, and then the outside of your foot, like those always need to be on the ground. So you should never like roll up on the side of your foot or something like that. And then like to Trey's point, like it turns on your hamstrings and your glutes when you feel like you can spread the floor. And then, like, you're basically ready to go.
I think that the whole, like, understanding, like, Brian's obviously brought a lot more to mind of, like, the foot connection to the ground. You know what I mean? Has been, like, because I went barefoot when I did my lunges today. And, like, I don't do it every day, but I do it a couple times a week. And I really like it. I think it's just, like, a different variation.
Yeah.
It's very different.
And, like, figuring out what shoes work. Like, do you need lifters or, like, Chucks or Vans or whatever?
The other thing is leverage is on body weight. Like, when I wear my fucking lifters weighing, like, closer to 200, my leverages feel awesome. But then, like, when I'm lighter, my leverages feel better when I got Chucks on in the front squat. It's really interesting. Like, right now, like, I weighed, like, 97. My front squat, my position where I can sit because I think my quads are bigger. And that with that angle with the lifters, I can sit in there and I feel, like, way more powerful than when I'm lighter. I don't feel that same leverage. It's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. So I can notice, like, from weight class to weight class, I feel. So when I squatted in St. Clairsville and I squatted 500 lifters, I was at 98. Same thing. I pulled 550 that day, conventional, like, narrow grip, like Klukov style. I felt like I had springs in my legs because my fucking quads were so much fucking diesel weighing more. So I don't know. Just real thoughts, Danny.
Juicy.
Yeah. Anything else? You guys want to talk a little bit quick about lunges? Danny?
Sure.
How long are you in it now?
I don't know.
Years?
I'd have to look. Pretty much. I mean, excluding like the random events I've done. Like I obviously didn't do them on those days, but yeah, it's been.
But it's just part of your life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely every day. 800 meters. I like the turf game for sure right now.
The recovery on the turf is helping a ton.
Yeah, the turf games helped me out a ton.
Yeah, it feels good. And then the the one that Trey and I've been going to in Upper Arlington. There's a nice, super nice middle school track out of.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere. Yeah.
You guys been linking up a little bit with lunging?
We just go to the same place.
You're not going to Grandview Heights anymore?
No, I do too. But they're literally like the same distance away. So
yeah. Trey, you stayed on the track. Have you tried the field much? I haven't talked to you about it.
I've done the field, but I like the track.
I thought you did.
prefer
That's
the track,
your
yeah.
OG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Respect.
The recovery, I can tell. I could tell a difference though from the recovery if I did it on the turf.
Okay, so you do feel what I'm feeling, especially
I
as
feel what you guys are feeling
of the older generation.
Yeah. I like the push of the track of like
the harder surface.
Yeah, there's the time. You know exactly where you got to go to. You know exactly where you need to
I
be
agree
by
with all
a certain
that.
time.
Well, I told Cole today, like, because I'm not as caught up in that right now. It's more about, for me, I just fell in that, like, if I get this amount of time in, I know I'm at least going to capture 800. Some days it's more, some days it's probably right at whatever.
same here.
And so what I kind of realized was, and I felt the initial recovery when I started squatting more often from the turf. So, and I can just apply it no matter where I'm at. So there's a couple different reasons why I've kind of adapted that. And I did do one lap on the track, and I felt really fucking fast because I think of the harder surface. But then also I was more sore the next day, probably because of the recovery portion. Yeah.
Well,
so
one thing I've been doing once a week too is a one stationary day, but it all be reverse lunges. And I feel like I can kind of get into my hip flexor and glute a little bit more. I don't know. It just feels a little bit better, like around my knees, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the key is managing it, so you can
Just
do this other
balancing
stuff.
out a
This is our
little bit.
second workout. Sometimes it's maybe Trey's only workout because he's still getting more reps in, like, in the gym. But the reality is, like, most of the time people are doing this as their conditioning or their second workout. So it's like, being able to manage that, which me and Cole talk about a lot, is him managing that recovery. It's important. So, but the streak of the lunges, I think, look, a lot of people are listening and praying I'll squat every day. It's just a reality. But I really believe anybody can do the lunge stuff. And I think that's
Anywhere, and
it's applicable to anyone to some degree, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 100, like Anthony does 100 reps. He can tell a huge difference. Joe Bayless started doing the same thing. He can tell a huge difference. They feel the difference. So it's like, every version of it can be to whatever your goal is, but I think it's important to have that accountability to yourself and just fucking give it a try. So, be good.
What?
You guys good?
Knows what?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. All right, Roundtable Podcast from boy Corey G, at Small Arms Danny, at Trey Speeden, the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak, brought to you by MaxForMuscle.com. We are out.